you got this run of the Minnesota Timberwolves where this is a team who they lost in the first round last year to the defending champion Denver Nuggets. And a story came out last night. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, he covers the Lakers, but he's on coverage for that series last night. And he put a story about how when the Nuggets eliminated the Wolves last year, the Wolves went to this local bar in Denver to, drown their sorrows. And they ran into Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray just happened to be there. Anthony Edwards told him, "We gonna get y'all niggas next year." And Jamal Murray laughed at him. Well, who laughing now, nigga? So you got this entire year, everything that's been going with them on and off the court, because we can't forget about the big battle going off the court between A-Rod and Glenn Taylor for who's going to be majority owner of the Timberwolves, to knocking out a team and sweeping the Phoenix Suns, beating the defending champions, and now they have a legitimate shot to go to the NBA championship. Pat, my question for you is this: what do you think this story tells about like where the league is going, as far as like all the different overhaul, where you got a team last year looked like the Nuggets were going to rain off a couple more. Now you did say on the show a couple weeks ago this team reminded you of the 09 Cavs, so you're probably not as shocked right now about last night's outcome. But what do you feel about this run that the Minnesota Timberwolves had this year?
One, I like the style of basketball. I think, I think that in the 2010s, small ball kind of got prioritized. Well, not kind of got small ball did get prioritized, and I feel like we're kind of in the era of bigs again. I think people don't really realize it because it's not like it's not like the Hakeem Olajuwons and David Robinsons. But I mean, look at the Timberwolves. Like they have three big guys, Cat, Rudy, and Nas Reed, who all play a pivotal role. And they built that team off defense. I love Ant. I think Ant is incredible. Ant is the last hope for American basketball. We are cooked after Anthony Edwards. But defense is what's winning the Timberwolves these games, not so much Anthony Edwards. I love Ant though, but defense is what winning these is what's winning these games. And also, I think people have to go back to team building and actually legitimate building teams. Like the people that the Minnesota Timberwolves have, Jaden McDaniels picked him, Anthony Edwards picked him, made a good trade for Mike Conley. Obviously, you picked Karl Anthony Towns a decade ago. As many times where maybe you think you could have traded him off and maybe got some other assets, but you picked him. You made a good deal for Rudy Gobert. Nas Reed wasn't even drafted. You signed Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You picked up Cal Anderson. Even Nuggets, that team is homegrown and home built. You took these guys, you got them, you cultivated them, you got them in the system, and you see what the Nuggets did last year, and even what they did somewhat to an extent this year. But in general, I just think team building is back. Like even again, you go to the Pacers, you go to the Mavericks. Like it's not like you just putting a whole bunch of superstars together and being like, "Yo, go win the game," like the Suns did. When you just in theory, they put three superstars together. It's like, yo, go win the game. Or like, you're not in that era anymore. You're in the era of you have to go out there and legit build actual teams. And obviously with the second apron thing, I think it's going to even make it harder in the future to build actual teams. It's probably going to be harder for you to see repeat champions. Like the only team that I think should possibly repeat if they get there is the Celtics. Like the Celtics are set up where like if they do win, I think that could be a team that you could win 1, 2, maybe 3, just when I look at the Eastern Conference, because I don't really see that the team that's coming behind them that's like, all right, next year we know this team is the team that we really have something to look out for. But yeah, I just think team building, I think, is the main thing that you're learning from this playoffs. Like I said, building an actual team and cultivating them, and then also the big guys, man, the bigs that played a huge role in these playoffs. And I think that, again, we're moving towards the era of more bigs. It's just like, it's not like the post game from the 90s, but it's definitely some really, really good quality bigs out here that are having a huge impact on how these series are being won.
And you got to give credit to Tim Connolly. He's the general manager of Minnesota Timberwolves. He also built the Denver Nuggets. He's part of bringing Aaron Gordon over there, making them the champions they are now. And Joker even said in his post game last night, he said they were built to beat us. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, nobody knows how to destroy you than the person who put you together. So you know what I'm saying? Like he knew the weaknesses and things like that. And I'm with you too. Like, it's just a very well put together team. And the thing that makes Ant great is not just offensively. Ant can
He
guard.
competes. He competes defensively.
He guards. Had a rough game. You know, everybody comparing him to Michael. That wasn't a Michael game last night. That was a Kobe game, nigga.
Mike done that shit too.
Yeah, he has, but not as much as Kobe.
Too. Have you watched the 96 finals? Mike done that shit too.
You know, we always bring up the 96 finals.
He done that shit too.
That's always the barometer for Mike failure. It's the 96 finals.
I'm gonna say this: Scott don't have a Mike poster behind him on the shoulder. You see that right there. So
my answer that is slightly fucked up. So Mike is still with us. That's why I don't have one of him in the background. But but I think that, you know, what's my favorite phrase? Keep rebounds in Game 7 of the 2010 Finals. When Kobe shot 6 for 24. You know, but even if you want to compare him to Mike, you know, he had a rough half and he found a way to win the game. You know what I'm saying? And we kill Rudy Gobert. I kill Rudy Gobert.
Show him some love. Show him some goddamn love.
Played the best quarter of basketball, best half of basketball I've ever seen from him. He played well, and when he made that fadeaway jumper, I was like, I think it's about over. It's just one of them things. And I also got to give love to Minnesota Timberwolves fans. There was a lot of them niggas at Ball Arena last night. You could hear them in the background. And you just see everything they got going on over there. It went from Anthony Edwards not knowing who A-Rod is, them having synchronized handshakes with the nigga. Like, everything is just going well for the Timberwolves, what makes it hard for you not to root for them. Now, Mark, what's your opinion on this run the Timberwolves have had?
I fuck with it crazy, man, because number one, like Anthony Edwards, you put your shoe out this season, and then you have a season like this with the highlights and you know, everybody praises your name, and then you knock off the defending champs. And then you getting all these little sound bites and clips of him being like, yeah, I told y'all we was coming back here for this game. And, you know, you see him on the sideline. Oh, I'm about to get in my bag. You know what I'm saying? And then you go out there and close that game out that way is incredible. And Rudy Gobert is getting a lot of credit, as he should, but he's getting a lot of credit for not being as ass as we expected him to be. Like, let's be 100. It's not like he always shows up. He is always the guy. And it's like, yeah, look, it's like, nah, he just, you know, we didn't really expect a crazy amount from him. So he's stepping up doing his part now. But I'm all the way with it. If you're a fan of a small market team, you should be ecstatic about this NBA season, because look at all the teams. Like, nobody, I'm not gonna say nobody. I mean, maybe Indiana, you know, residents, but like nobody, the Indianimals and all that. Like nobody expected the Pacers to be Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't say this to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So them, you got Minnesota, who hasn't been here and who knows how long. So if you're a fan of a small market team, I think we're getting back to that. Ant-Man is showing like, yo, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna stay down. I'm gonna build this shit right here, exactly where I got drafted to, instead of trying to, you know, go out there, you know, and run a team up with two other guys to make some shit shake. Like, we're gonna do it right here where we at. You know, make some moves that we got to make, but we're gonna figure it out. So this Timberwolves team is crazy. Like, I fuck with it.
I was rooting for the T-Wolves last night, even though I picked the Nuggets, because I'm going to pick a champion until they actually get knocked out. Bang, you and Dante picked the Wolves on Friday.
Yeah.
What did you see from them yesterday, and what you think about this whole run they've had this year?
Resilient. When you down 20 in the fourth quarter of Game 7, you would automatically think that team was going to give up. They didn't. And they won the game. And at one point was up by 10 points. So I loved what I saw about the whole entire team. And I think, Pav, you are 150, 200, 300% correct. You now have to get back to team building. The time of the big three is officially over, even though it was over a couple of years ago. What happened to the Phoenix Suns basically by the Minnesota Timberwolves basically was the final nail in the coffin for that. So you got to look at not only the stars that you bring in, what this new draft for free agency, but you got to look at that bench.
That paper on this player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.